self. What's going on, everybody? Lorne sitting here back with Marshall.
What's up, brother?
Podcast.
Here we are, free as fuck.
25.
25.
September
I thought we
1st.
already did 25.
No, 24 was where we stopped.
Oh, okay.
So we're on 25.
All right. Fair enough.
And you have been gone for a little bit. And I have been, obviously both dealing with shit. So the world, listen, no matter what happens in your life, the world keeps going. Unfortunately for us, the world is still being run by Joe Biden, and the world is going in a very fast downward spiral.
I mean, I blame a lot of it on Joe Biden, but I blame a lot of it on people that don't give enough of a shit about what's happening in the world to do a better job finding somebody to elect to be president. How the fuck did that fucker ever become president? And to be perfectly honest with you, how did any of these fuckers become president? Well, I don't even understand. Since I've been a kid, I don't remember any president that I'm like, oh man, what a fucking great president. Holy shit, they did a great job. I don't remember any great presidents. There's no president who was great. Trump? Fuck no. Obama? Fuck no. What did he do?
Trump did everything. Trump was awesome.
Sucked.
Trump 2024. Trump 2021.
I hope he does run again.
Let's just elect him right now.
I hope he does run again.
Let's just put him in office right now. Listen,
Yeah,
what would he do? Drop bombs over Taliban?
Shit.
He'd probably tweet at the hurricane, make it go away.
Right. Tweet the hurricane away.
He would lower gas prices. He would cut down trees himself to lower the cost of lumber.
Right.
Let me tell you, Trump's a great man.
Worthless. Completely fucking worthless.
I'm trying to keep a straight face. He's a great man.
He's worthless.
Ah.
We never had a good president. I don't remember a good one. I guess some people say Reagan. I mean, when Reagan was president, things were pretty good. I will say that. I will just say while he was president. And then as soon as he got out of office, you had the first George Bush, and he sucked. And then he got beat by Clinton. And Clinton, oof, man, the whole time, it was all about who did he fuck, who did he get a blowjob from. Everything was about a blowjob. For 8 years of listening to people talking about him getting a blowjob in the Oval Office. Yeah. 8 years. That's all people talked about.
I saw somebody leave a comment on like a Weeble thread about a Lewinsky or something. This thing's going down faster than Lewinsky. And I was like, you're really showing your age with that.
Destroyed her life, man. I feel so sorry for that girl. Never got married. I don't even think she ever had a boyfriend. I feel really bad for her. I think I've seen her on like a show or something talking about how awful her life has been.
I don't know. I didn't think she was doing that bad recently. I thought she was doing all right.
I mean, I know she had a TV show for a while where she was like the host of a dating show. And then she had a line of purses.
I don't know, man.
But
well, let's see here. Since you've been gone and we haven't done an episode in about probably 10 days, I think it was 26. Let's just do a quick recap of what has happened.
All right.
In the last 10 days.
In the last 10 days. In the world or in our lives?
We could do in the world.
In the world?
In what's happening around us.
There are the exact two main things that are going on that we've been talking about indefinitely.
Is it not weird that that's the only two things that seem to be
the main two things going on in the world?
To second that point, Biden is just skating by.
I mean, is he?
Yes.
How so? How is it?
Because listen, they told us that the majority of the country wanted this man in charge. Correct. He has done a absolute shit show of a job handling the entire everything that is in the news, and yet nobody is really calling, except from we can take the right. Look, the right's always going to want the president fucking gone because it's not the right, any Democrat. However, I feel like as a country, as a nation, as a whole, we should be like, what are you doing? And no, they're not doing that.
People don't pay attention.
No, they do pay attention.
People are not paying attention.
They are paying attention.
Listen, here's
They
because
just don't care.
when I stayed in the place before I moved into my recent living arrangement, I had Fox News where I was. I had it every day. I watched it all the time, and I was very attuned. All they talked about was Afghanistan. That was it. I mean, it literally, and I'm sure now, but I don't have it where I am now.
Yeah, I'm gonna hook you up with some Fox News.
I need to get it set back up because I don't have it set up.
I'm gonna set it up.
You're gonna need to come there and do it.
I know. I'm going to drive over there and do it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
I'm gonna do that.
All right. So
Maybe we'll do that
anyway,
today. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
yeah. Well, maybe so. In any event, so I don't have that barrage of Afghanistan. And what I can tell you just from talking to the people that I'm around, very, very few mention Afghanistan or know anything about Afghanistan or know anything about what's happening. And that's the American public at large. They don't give a shit. They don't care. They don't care that people are worried about their own lives. We have the virus, which I keep hearing everyone say is getting worse and the hospitals are filling up. I don't know that. I don't notice any difference in my day-to-day life. I don't see people getting it. I'm around people. I go to work every day. I work with 20 to 30 other people. We're all masked up. We have to be. Nobody's getting it where I work.
Right.
People are coming in. I'm working in a restaurant full of people coming in every day that don't have masks on.
I would love to see someone just walk down the street, find somebody or go into a business, whatever. Find someone who's wearing a mask of their own, not like a new disposable one you just took out of the box when you went to Home Depot or something. A mask that you personally own. Take it from them and test it and see what's on it. I'm curious. I want to know.
I have one.
I want to
wear one.
Where can you get that test done? We should be able to find a way.
I don't know. I mean, I have one. And it's right now. It's in the pocket of the pants that I wear at work, and I will take it out. It has not been washed in several shifts. I don't wash it every shift. I certainly don't wash it every time I take it out off my face and put it back on. I don't know what it's supposed to be protecting me from. It nearly chokes me to death when I'm wearing it. When I'm wearing that mask, I am as miserable as shit. And when I get away from my tables, I unhook it off of one of my ears and let it hang from one ear all the time. Other people pull it down below their chin. I don't want it hanging down below my chin. I think people look ridiculous when they do that. I don't want to look like that. I let it hang off one ear. And my boss will come by and be like, "You need to put your mask on." I'm like, I don't want to put it on. I don't want to wear it. I mean, honestly, and it's not even like I'm politically rebelling against it for political reasons. I don't even know necessarily the medical science behind. There's so much conflicting shit that people say. Who knows what's true? What's accurate? Who knows?
Well, I'll tell you this. I'm going to find it here. Because I posted it on my Facebook page 2 days ago, mostly because of Pfizer, because I was watching the Pfizer stock. This one showed up on my Google News feed. Why Pfizer thinks its COVID vaccine days could be numbered. And this article talks about Pfizer and how the variants keep mutating, and they're only a few mutations away from what they currently have as being completely useless against it.
Right.
And so, but we know that. I mean, that's not like breaking news, but for Pfizer to come out and say it is a big deal because they're one of the main manufacturers of the shot. And then I also saw what was I watching? I was watching another thing, a clip on YouTube from a network, and they were talking about investigations into deaths related to Moderna and also related to Johnson & Johnson vaccines, people that died that had gotten it, like I would say died within a alarming amount of time of getting the shot. Now, I've obviously seen plenty of people who've gotten the shot and it's ruined their lives because we don't know what it's going to do to a person. Now, if 99.9% of people get the shot and they're fine, is that an acceptable number? Or, because the argument is always, well, if one person if you infect one person and they die, then that's not acceptable. Well, if you give a shot to somebody and they die, and it's one person out of 7 billion people, does that matter? I mean, there's always going to be this thing. But yeah, I'm curious. I'm just, the virus thing seems to still be kind of second nature to what's going on in Afghanistan. And Afghanistan to me is a giant failure on an epic level. Like,
well, there's people still there.
There's people still there.
There's Americans still in Afghanistan that we just left there. These aren't like military guys missing in action who might be dead from combat. These are American citizens who did not, for whatever reason, have the opportunity to get to the airport in time. And they're just there. And they're fucked. And they didn't go over there, you know, to just hang out in Afghanistan. They went over there on some type of mission to help the American effort in Afghanistan, whether it's as a teacher, as a nurse, as a, you know, somebody working in a hospital, construction, whatever it is. They were over there as part of our war effort. And we just left them.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, I think that the reason we did is because they're just counting on the fact that nobody's going to give a shit.
Right.
They're not worried about it. They're hoping that people just forget about it. And quite honestly, they will. There are people out there already who don't, first of all, never learned anything about it while it was going on, and don't give a shit that there are Americans over there. How is that not leading to massive protests all over the country? That we just abandon Americans in a war zone on the other side of the country.
Because I think people, look, if you voted for Joe Biden, you are not going to go against what's happening, because based solely on your political view. No one, my Facebook feed is full of people who voted for Biden, full of them. And they are not mad at the least. It's like, oh, no, good, we're pulling out of Afghanistan. It's been a long time. No one cares. No one cares that today the Taliban are going door to door executing people. No one cares. And that they should care.
They don't care.
I looked at it this way. This is what I said on my emergency broadcast, as I put it, because you weren't here. And I said, if 1,500 American soldiers in Afghanistan was all it took to prevent this from happening, leave them over there. Well, I mean, you're not fighting a war anymore.
Late now.
Well, yeah, no, it's too late now.
There's literally nothing we can do.
Every report said that they knew this would happen. Every report. Not only that,
well, I don't think they realized it was going to happen this quickly.
Bullshit.
That was the thing.
They knew exactly.
I don't think
how
they
fast
knew
it
the
was gonna
timing. That's the part I think, honestly, because they were still telling people that we were going to keep the embassy open as they were withdrawing our troops and soldiers out of there. Remember that the Afghan government was in place, that we put in place. They were still in place a month ago.
Right.
And the Taliban took over the whole country in 6 days.
Yeah, but I think they knew it would happen.
I think they knew that it was going to happen eventually. I don't think anyone realized they were just going to ride across the country and take it over.
I disagree. I think,
and I definitely don't think anyone thought it was going to happen until we had gotten everybody out of there that wanted to get out of there.
I think if people in Afghanistan that were over there that had any kind of affiliation to leadership in our military or government that's on the ground knew exactly what was going to happen. Not only that, Biden administration admits to releasing to the Taliban a list of people who helped Americans, and they called it basically a hit list. That was like 3 days ago. Yeah, that came out. That the Biden administration admitted they have given the Taliban a list of people. Because they're fucking stupid.
What was their reasoning? They can't be the reason they said it out loud. That they didn't say because we're stupid. They had to have said. They had to have said we did this for, they have to have a justification that they can at least present publicly, even if it is because they were stupid.
Look, there it is right there. New York Post. Biden admits may have given Taliban kill list of Afghans who aided U.S. right there on the freaking.
So they accidentally gave it to him. Is that what they're saying? Their claim is that
Biden accidentally does everything. Biden doesn't do anything on purpose. Let's be honest. That motherfucker doesn't do anything on purpose. Oh. Let's see what it says right here. It says a potentially deadly blunder by President Biden's administration effectively handed the Taliban a kill list to largest Afghans who aided the U.S., according to a report Thursday, and he admitted it may have happened when asked later at the White House briefing. Following this, they gave the Islamic extremist group the names of American citizens, green card holders, and Afghan allies so they could be allowed to enter the Taliban-controlled perimeter around the airport. So they're like, oh, in order to get there, the Taliban controls the airport. In order for us to know who should come through, we're going to require, Marshall, I'm going to need some kind of information, some kind of identification. I'm going to need a list. Listen, you're the Taliban. I have a list of names of people who are Americans and who aided Americans. And in order for them to come through, I'm going to have to give that list to you. And Joe Biden administration was like, yeah, it makes sense. That makes sense. Well, you're not going to do anything nefarious with that list. No, we just want to make sure you are who you are and that the Taliban isn't going through. I'm just curious
how long it's going to stay in the news.
It's already out of the news.
I'm just curious to see how long, outside of Fox News, which I know that's been their nonstop discussion, and will continue to be.
I'll tell you what. We'll look at this. Google News. We're going to hit refresh, top stories. We're going to put world top stories. It's not even number one, is it? Pope criticizes Western intervention in Afghanistan. That's it.
So it is number one.
The Pope. That's not fucking real news. The Pope gives a shit. No one cares. Who cares what the Pope
thinks?
Still
number one.
The Pope is not raging war.
All right. It is on there.
It's on there. All right. Let's go to, I don't know, the U.S. top stories. No. Opioid claims. Grand jury indicts police officers. Biden rips Texas abortion laws extreme. Hurricane. Winston-Salem. Students had a shooter, maybe a school shooting. Lake Tahoe. There it is, all the way down here. Biden's Afghanistan speech written poorly with even worse delivery. So it's pretty far down the list. And then other shit down there. Taliban throws victory parade with U.S. military equipment because why not? They said they disabled like 70 or 150 vehicles. Dude, there's like 70,000 fucking vehicles or some crazy number of shit that we've sent over there. They've disabled some of them. It's fucking absurd.
Well, I mean, it's not going to be easy to just figure out how to fly a helicopter. I can tell you that.
You know what I was talking to my buddy on the phone yesterday, actually, and he was laughing about that. He goes, they're not going to figure it out. And I said, but there's a video of them driving a helicopter down the highway. They can fly it, but it was fucking great. Could you imagine driving on the highway? You're just going about your business. Like, hey, the fuck out of here. And behind you in the rear view mirror, it's an attack helicopter. Like, what the fuck?
I mean, you know, it's obviously it's a disaster. It's one of the worst things
the Taliban internationally that's happened.
Maybe. And I'm sure there's other countries that are going to volunteer to help them learn how to fly them. I mean, there's people out there that hate America, and this certainly did not help. I can't believe that we could not figure out a better way to get out of that situation than the way that we did it. But I hold them all responsible. I mean, I hold them all responsible. I hold Bush got us into it. Obama didn't get us out. Trump didn't get us out, and Trump's plan was the plan that we went with.
Well,
so and what? I'll tell you here's what I think Trump's role in this was. I believe that when he agreed to, now it never happened, thank God. And I know there's a lot of Republicans out there that are fucking wiping the sweat off their brow going, but this motherfucker invited the leaders of the Taliban to come to Camp David and discuss our leaving Afghanistan. Now, can you even fucking imagine if that had taken place and the situation that we're in currently? Believe me, Trump would be taking a lot more of the blame. And the reason he's not, first of all, two reasons he's not. One, because you got Fox News out there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, blasting out how bad this is on Biden's part, which it is. I agree it is. But they're all responsible. All of the presidents that were presidents while this happened are responsible for what we did. And here's the thing that I think a lot of people don't even realize, because people don't know this. There are people out there that make so much money as a result of us being at war. The defense contractors make billions of dollars. Cheney's company that he worked for Halliburton made $40 billion as a result of the Iraq war. $40 billion. That's a lot of fucking money for a company to make. I don't give a shit how big of a company you are. $40 billion, a lot of, and it got hardly any coverage. Almost none. You could bring that up now to Halliburton. You could bring that name up to people. They'd be like, what? Who's at Halliburton? The company that made $40 billion. And by the way, when they make $40 billion, a lot of that goes to the motherfuckers that are running the company as part of their salaries and bonuses. It's not necessarily to create anything.
Right.
Or build anything. Or do anything.
Just looking through some of these funny things here.
I mean, you know.
Curious what the, I don't know. I would say this is like.
I hold them all responsible.
Yeah.
And I wonder, are we, as the citizens of this country, as we watch the incompetence of our government and the people that are in charge of it, are we going to do anything about it? Or are we going to do nothing? And my bet is we'll do nothing. I'm volunteering my services. I'm ready. I'll take all these motherfuckers on. I guarantee you I could run the country better than Biden. I guarantee you I could run the country better than Trump. Will I get a chance to do it? Who knows? My guess is no. My guess is there are people out there they'll just think I'm crazy for even suggesting that I could do a better job. Take a look at the job they're doing.
So the bar is very low.
And how could anyone possibly say that I would do worse? How could there be one person who'd be like, well, you can't run for president. You couldn't do that job. I could do it better than them. I could do it better than the guys that are in charge now. And I don't understand how they get to, I really don't. You know, Trump wants to run again. Go ahead. Who in their right mind would reelect him to be president after the job he did the first time?
Listen. Biden's only been in for 8 months, man. He's got plenty of time to do a worse job than Trump.
Oh, he's going to do a worse job. There's no doubt. No, the people that voted for Biden didn't even want Biden to be president. No one wants him to be president. It's a national disgrace every time. Every time he goes in front of the cameras to make another speech, you're just sitting there going, my God, how did this motherfucker get to be the fucking president?
You are thinking that
everyone's thinking it. Even the people that voted for him. But they just didn't want Trump to be the president anymore. And I'll be honest with you, I'm glad he's not. But that doesn't mean that Biden's doing a good job. I don't think he is. He's terrible. And we're going to elect somebody next time who's probably worse than both of them. It's only going to get worse. I've watched them get worse my entire life. I've watched president after president after president get worse. And they don't do a good job. And if you get rid of Biden, Kamala Harris is in charge. You think she's ready? You're talking about somebody who's unqualified for the job they currently have. There's no person alive that can look at what she's done. How's the border going? She's in charge of the border. Special border czar. Putting Kamala Harris in charge of the border. What has she done?
Let him in. She let them all in. So there was a TikTok video of a guy who was like talking about all the amazing things that the Biden administration has done. Like, inflation is up so high. Not even like every month, the inflation rate numbers are just through the roof. You're like, wow, there's got to be a top, and there's not. It just keeps getting worse. The amount of people coming through the border illegally is skyrocketed to a number that's not
I mean,
even
I'll
on the
just
chart.
say, in terms of inflation, for me personally looking at it, things seem to have leveled off. Gas is not increasing. Gas has been the same price for the last over a month now. It hasn't changed.
Gas is going
I go to
up.
the exact same place, and it's $2.95. It's been $2.95 for over a month.
I've seen over $3 up here. As far as inflation goes in my world, everything's gone up.
Well, I believe things have gone up. I'm not disputing that. I shop. I go to the grocery store every day. I get gas.
Grocery store is more expensive.
But it seems to have, at least in terms of the prices changing on a continuous basis, what I've noticed is myself, I can only go by what I've seen, is a leveling off. I have seen that it is, gas, again, I can go by what I go to the gas station. The gas I'm buying is I bought gas on my way here, $2.95, $2.95. In fact, the last time I went to that same gas station, it was $2.99. So it's actually 4 cents less.
I went to Kroger yesterday and I noticed that a lot of things have gone up by 40 to 50 cents, some things more than that on smaller ticket items. And now, like in the apparel line, like for me ordering blank t-shirts, all of those have gone up by like 30%, which, it seems like a lot. When you're paying $2 for a shirt, now it's $2.60. Or $3, now they're $3.75 for a blank. And then on top of that, it's hard to get them. And that's small scale. You take that to some of the other things that I buy, like primer at work, used to be $68 a gallon. Now it's $125 a gallon. I mean,
I don't dispute that things have definitely gone up.
gains.
There's no question. I'm not disputing that it exists. I'm just talking about in terms of gas, which to me is a hard measurable because everyone has to get it. There's a gas station on every corner. They clearly have the price posted outside of the business on a sign, and you can see. Is it gone up in other places around the country? Possibly. Is it more expensive than it is in Atlanta? Possibly. I'm sure in LA it's more expensive. I'm sure in New York it's
$8.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy. And it's not slowing down. I don't think it's going to slow down.
He's done a terrible job. I'm not defending Biden.
I like the guy. He had a video and he was talking about like the pre-Biden presidency, when Trump was president, when they were campaigning, how bad Trump's doing with COVID. Biden has a solution. Biden's going to solve the problem. And then here we are 9 months later where they're realizing like there's no solution to solving this problem. And the problem is way worse. According to them, it's way worse. Now, like you said, we see clickbait headlines and articles like, 10% of ICU beds are left. How many ICU beds are there? Let's start with that number. Because if you go down to Gwinnett Medical or Northside or whatever hospitals around there, how many ICU beds do they have? Do they have 20 beds? Do they have 100 beds? I know they don't have 100 beds. Do they have 20 beds? And so are 10%, so are there 18 people there? Or are there 400 people there in ICU? How many people, when you throw a percentage at something, that is a very deceptive number. It's highly deceptive.
Well, it can be. It depends. It depends on what statistic you're talking about, but definitely percentages can be misleading, and the other is true. You could make it sound worse. You could make things murder statistics. They can use percentages to talk about the increase. Right. Well, if there's one person murdered and then the next year 2 people get murdered, they say, well, the murder rate is up 100%. Right. And you're like, well, all right. But then the job that's being done in terms of the 2 biggest issues facing our country and really our world, I don't think anyone's going to solve.
So let's talk, because we always wanted to come up with a solution. But on this, I don't know that there is one. And I say that because we have no idea what's going on in Afghanistan. Me and you, we only know what we see. Right. We don't know shit about shit when it comes to it. But let's just say you had some kind of knowledge about shit over there. and what you know now, what would you have done differently?
Well, I think here's what I think. I think they were worried about creating panic. I think the reason that they did things the way that they did, and again, obviously we don't necessarily agree on this, but I think that they believed if they did things in a non-combative way, if they didn't send out an alert to everybody, hey, you got to get the fuck out of there. This place is going down. The government's going to fall. I mean, the government was in place. They had to at least pretend like they thought that government was going to continue. So what they did was they tried to make it seem like, okay, this is just a normal scaling down of military forces. We're not necessarily at war with these guys. The Taliban is a threat, but it's not an imminent threat. We believe that these well-trained forces are going to stay in place, and if they are called upon to fight the Taliban, they'll be able to do it. So that was to me, the mistake starts off with being afraid of telling the truth. And that's the whole problem with a lot of things in the world. People don't like to hear the truth. They get mad when they hear the truth. When you tell people the truth, it pisses them off. But the truth is, they should have been saying to everybody, hey, Afghanistan is a dangerous place. It is going to be way more dangerous when we leave. All of these things are going to happen. We need everybody to leave now. We're going to get all of our citizens out first. We're going to leave every opportunity for them to get out. All the airports are open. You go to I don't know how many military bases we had over there. Several, I would guess. We closed them down. I would think we had several. So you just say, hey, go to the closest military base and you'll be able to get flown out of here. And for whatever reason, we tried to create the charade of that Afghanistan government is going to stay in place. We're going to maintain good diplomatic ties with these people. And that's what we did. And the way that we did it was a disaster as a result.
Right.
So what can be done now? Nothing. There's nothing. We have not only not only subjected these people to the Taliban rule, which is right back to where they started.
Right.
We've also alienated any of them to ever even think for 1 second of helping us do anything over there ever again. There's no American that can walk over there and be like, hey, we're here to help. We're going to need your help. Help us help you. We'll work together and we're going to make this a good government. No, they're not going to fucking ever believe that shit again. Their only disposition towards us is going to be one of adversary and wanting to fight us.
Right. You spent 20 years over there. A lot of innocent people died. A lot of civilians died in Afghanistan. A lot.
Sure. We killed them.
Okay.
We killed them.
We did kill a lot of them. And so at the end of it all, like, what do? You basically, you gave people who don't want to fight a war a choice to say, look, you can stay here and fight. We'll train you. We'll bring you a bunch of shit. And we're also going to stay here.
Have you ever seen the training videos of the Afghanistan?
I'm not saying that they got top-notch.
Have you seen them?
No. I don't watch that shit.
You should see the training videos. They couldn't do jumping jacks.
Anyone can do jumping jacks.
Pull up the Afghanistan army being trained to do jumping jacks. And you will not believe what you're about to watch. Jesus, pal.
Pal's getting them.
Oh, my God.
Getting them. All right, let's see. This is 2009. I need something like... There's got to be something.
Jumping jacks.
But why jumping jacks?
Because you're not going to...
No. I feel like this is clickbait. I feel like this isn't real.
There you go. That's it right there. Watch it.
No, shut up.
Watch it.
I'm going to wait for the commercial. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it. I'm watching. Those dudes back there are killing it. They're killing it. So what do you got? One dude who's not good at jumping jacks. Two
Who's
dudes.
doing a proper jumping jack?
Right
Show
there,
me.
man.
Who?
Fucking hammered it out. Look.
Who?
Back it up. Look. Killing it right here. Killing it.
Killing it?
He's killing it. He's killing it. Secondly, what does that have to do with being a good soldier?
That is a basic. They couldn't do anything. That's not a military that's ready to fight a war. That's a basic physical movement to be able to do a jumping jack. Any person I know could knock out a couple jumping jacks. The most out of shape American could at least knock out a couple in a coordinated.
Maybe they don't even know what jumping jacks are in Afghanistan.
The guy is standing right in front of them, showing them how to do it. He's got a guy demonstrating it.
Hey, look, what about a handstand? Can you do a handstand?
No.
Why not? I can show you a handstand. Can you do one?
It has nothing to do with a jumping jack.
It's a basic movement.
No, that's not
basic movement. Walk on your hands. What if your feet
Anybody
get
can do
blown
a
off?
jumping jack. Not everybody can be.
Get your feet blown off. You need to walk on your hands, Marshall. This is basic survival skills. I will show you. Look, I'm not saying that it's not ridiculous, but I'm also thinking that it's one 40-second video out of 20 years of training. What I'm saying is,
it's an example of the fact that these guys were not. They're
not warriors.
They weren't even wanting to be. They don't, and clearly they weren't. They dropped their weapons and left their post. They abandoned their post. They don't want to fight.
Hold that thought real quick. I'm gonna pull up a hold on, because I liked this video on one of my. There it is. This is a good. This is where we're at. This is, and I believe this. Let me change my speakers here so that we have this working correctly, so you can hear it and you can tell me if you believe this, or if maybe you've even heard it before. Maybe you've even heard it. All right. Just put your headphone up so you can hear it. You don't have to put it on. Just put it up to your head so you can hear it. I'm gonna play this clip because this is the reason. But I've heard this before.
Hard times create hard men. Hard men create soft times. Soft times create soft men. Soft men create hard times. We are now around soft men in hard times. People think that you should be weak and you should be docile. No, you should be a monster and then learn how to control it. It's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. It doesn't mean that you can't be kind if you're strong. But it does mean you can't be strong if you're weak. Hard.
That reminds me of that because look, what we have over there is gardeners in a war. You have weak people.
Times create hard men.
Yeah, maybe we've been over there training them, but at the end of the day, they're not warriors.
Exactly.
And so when we left and they were like, oh, well, look, it'd be like, it'd kind of be like little man syndrome, you know, a little guy surrounded by a bunch of big dudes that are his friends, talks a lot of shit because he knows the guys behind him are still there. But once they leave, they don't talk shit no more because they're going to get stomped, right? Like Kevin Hart and The Rock. Kevin Hart can talk mad shit if The Rock's behind him. That's who's behind you. The Rock is the U.S. military, and the Taliban or the Afghans are Kevin Hart. Yeah, cool. We can do this. When The Rock leaves and the Taliban shows up, game on. Look, man, we're weak, and that's where they're at. That's where they are at. Americans are over here like, you want us to go back? Yeah, we'll go back. We got our own guns. You don't even have to bring guns. I've seen so many freaking veterans and military personnel on TikTok and YouTube like, let's go. You got Americans over there? We'll go get them. We don't care. But you're not going to see an Afghan who's got that kind of attitude or mindset. It's just not, it's not in their cards. Nope, I got to take this call real quick. But you can tell me what you think about that.
Well, I think that I mean, hard times, soft men, all that shit. I don't know. I think right now we've created an awful situation, and there's not a solution in terms of Afghanistan. And eventually, I don't know when it's going to happen. I'm texting something too. I think eventually that the people over in Afghanistan are going to come together and they're going to try to do something to strike back at us. I mean, I don't think there's any question about it. I don't know where, I don't know when, I don't know how. But I think definitely there's people over there that are pissed at America as a result of what we did and how we left. A lot of them are going to die. Americans are still going to die. We have left and abandoned them. Weak leadership that's why it all happened. If I was in charge, I would tell the Afghanistan, if I was in charge right now, I would tell the Taliban, here's what we're doing. I would set up a number that I would give to the people, the Americans that are in Afghanistan. I would say, look, contact this number. We're coming to get you. And I would tell the Taliban, we have people that are over there. We're going to get them out. We're not abandoning them. They're Americans. We're going to get them out. Here's how we're doing it. Every time one contacts us, we're choppering in to where they are, picking them up and pulling them out. If you fuck with the choppers, if you fuck with the people that we're evacuating, if you fuck with the soldiers that are there on their mission, we'll level your country, period. And that's what I would do. But I don't think that Biden's going to do that. He doesn't care. Biden is literally hoping that the country forgets about it and doesn't worry about it anymore.
Biden said, not my problem. For sure. He doesn't give a shit. What does he care for?
He doesn't.
He does not care. He just wants He wants to be the guy. Listen, I think in Biden's head, there's not a lot going on. Let's start with that. However, I think people would tell him, you're going to be the president who's responsible for pulling us out of Afghan after 20 years. You're going to be known as the president who ended the Afghanistan war. And he was like, I like it. I like it. Because he says I a lot when he talks. And he repeats words as he stumbles through it. What he's going to be known as is the president who pulled out of Afghanistan and initiated a genocide of Afghanistan people by the Taliban.
Sure.
I mean, now, how much of America is going to give a fuck? Probably not that many people. But they should. They should care. They should care.
Look, there's a lot of Americans that don't even give a shit about their fellow Americans. I do love listening to these people who pretend like they give a shit about the Afghanistan citizens. They don't. The only people that give a shit right now are pretending they give a shit because it is to their political benefit to do so. The exact same people don't give a flying fuck about Americans. So I don't believe for a second that they give a shit about people in Afghanistan. They don't. They're using it to their political advantage to try to make it seem like they give a fuck about the women of Afghanistan, about the citizens of Afghanistan. They don't. So, ultimately what's going to happen is, and I would like to stop talking about Afghanistan. I really don't want this to be the primary conversation that I have. I don't want to talk about Afghanistan. I never wanted us to go over and have a war with Afghanistan. We could have gone over there and had missions to take out the different cells from Al-Qaeda and the Taliban. We had knocked them out of power. They were on the run. And what did we stay there for? Our mission was accomplished a long time ago. We stayed there for greed. We stayed there so these military contractors and these people that built the schools and these people that could stay over there and keep making money. It was it was their cash cow.
There you go.
It was their cash cow. They were like, man, we can They need schools. We can build schools. They need churches. We can build churches. They need hospitals. We can build hospitals. We need to rebuild their infrastructure. We need to, and we did. And people made money off of it. Those people are criminals. They should be in jail. But they won't be held accountable. Everyone, right now, every Republican, every right-wing person in the world wants you to be mad at Joe Biden. That's not going to solve anything. The problem is that we have lost our credibility all over the world. Not only are people not going to welcome us back if we tried to go to Afghanistan, people aren't going to welcome us anywhere. There's nowhere on earth after they just saw what we did to Afghanistan. They don't welcome us,
Marshall. We just fucking go there. They're not like, hey, America, come here. We're like, hey, motherfuckers, we're here. And we just do our own
when
shit.
It is in our financial interest to go somewhere, we do. That's it.
You know where we don't go?
Fucking
China. We don't go nowhere near China.
We don't
go any place.
We give them money.
We don't go to Russia. We don't go any place where we could get fucked up. And let's be clear. It might be a big military presence, but there are people out there that will fuck us up if we go there.
I mean, China's got, 3 billion people?
Yeah, all they have to do, they don't even need weapons. They can just throw people at us. I mean, listen, have you ever watched the zombie, what do they call them? It's like a demonstration, because people always laugh. If zombies walk so slow, how do people always get caught by zombies? And Mythbusters did a thing where they try to defend themselves against a bunch of zombies, and eventually the zombies get you every time because there's too many of them. It's China. It's throw enough people at you. Russia's just crazy. Russia, look, Putin's got some shit. He ain't afraid to lose people. So
no,
when you got nothing to lose, when you
don't value human life,
it's real dangerous.
It's a different caliber of person. So anyway, I hope that the Americans that are there get out. I hope that Afghanistan doesn't turn into a refuge and training ground for terrorists. I think that it will. I think that we'll be talking about it for a long time. I hope that somehow we adjust to the presence of COVID in our lives. We are not going to get rid of it. We're not. The vaccinations are already losing their punch against the new variants, which are going to continue to mutate and get stronger. And I hope that as we learn to be healthier. I think that's our best defense. Our best defense against any form of virus is to be as healthy as we possibly can be. Which, by the way, brings me to my new diet. Is very simple.
Your new diet, baby. I asked my dad. He goes, he didn't put much in the fridge. Some motherfucker said he was on a new diet, and I'm gonna call him out next time I see him. Better be on a diet.
Well, this is what I'm currently having. I have one of two things. I have either a bowl of Kashi Go Rise cereal with blueberries. Although they didn't have blueberries today, I got raspberries. Or I have my Power Bowl. My Power Bowl is spinach, brown rice, black beans, cauliflower, broccoli, and mushrooms. And those are the only two things I eat. I feel fatter than I've ever been in my life, but I think my body's just adjusting to the type of diet because I'm ingesting a lot more carbs than I'm used to. But we'll see. And my cereal I eat with oat milk, no dairy.
Okay.
So all out vegan, not just vegetarian, vegan. And let me text this back real quick. My friend down in Atlanta is asking me. So anyway, man, I told you.
I just know. We'll see how long.
No, I'm gonna stick with it because I need stuff that's simple, that I believe is relatively healthy and nutritious. I'm covering a lot of different types of vitamins and things that I think your body needs. I feel much better. And I just, I want to be as healthy as I can be for whatever comes my way. We don't know. We have no idea what's going to come.
We don't know.
So
Hurricanes. How are they going to help you?
I mean, I feel like I can stand up to a hurricane. Put me outside in 150.
You can. You can stand up to it until it gets there, and then it will be like, it'll be like, Marshall's like, come at me. That'll be it.
Oh.
Yeah.
So anyway, what else you want to go over?
Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley. Did you pay attention to that?
No. What's happening?
Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley boxed over the weekend.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. Boxing, listen. Boxing is fucking boring. Said it. It's boring to watch. They fought over the weekend, and when you're a UFC fighter or fan, boxing fucking sucks. It's like you got those giant gloves on. It's like they can only do so much. It's just boring. Jake Paul won the fight. He clearly won the fight. There was no question about whether he won or not.
He knocked the guy out?
No. He won by decision. He won on points. He won all but 2 rounds. Arguably all but 1 round, honestly. Woodley hit him one time that was even remotely a solid hit in 8 rounds. And he knocked him he kind of tripped into the ropes, and they were like, oh, it would have been a knockout if the ropes didn't save him. Look, yeah, okay. You also could have not gotten tapped out if the cage wasn't there. Who gives a shit? He won. Jake Paul won. And then at the end, this is where boxing gets dumb. Well, this is where this gets dumb. Is Jake Paul was like, yeah, I'm moving on. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to take some time off because I've been training so hard for this. And I want to just, kind of enjoy some of my life right now. All I've done is prepared to fight. And Tyron Woodley said he wants an immediate rematch. He wants to run it back immediately. And Jake Paul said, nope. You had your chance. You got paid. Not interested. And he kept talking mad shit to him in the ring. And he said, I tell you what, if you get the I Love Jake Paul tattoo right now, tonight, before you leave, I'll agree to the rematch. That's it. You get that tattoo, and I'll do it.
Was that part of the fight? He was supposed to get the tattoo if he
No,
lost?
it was just...
He just
threw it out there as if he wanted a rematch. They both got paid $2 million to fight each other. Neither one of them took any significant damage, period. I mean, hardly at all.
I don't understand the obsession with this dude. I don't know. Where did he come from?
Jake Paul was a Disney star. He had his own little Disney thing, a little show on Disney. Then he was a YouTuber. Actually, the Paul brothers started on Vine when Vine was around. So Vine was really 15-second clips or something. And then they got they had a big following on there. Then they branched over to the YouTube side of things, and they just became their own little social media stars, making big money. And then
doing what? I mean, what do they do on social media?
Dumb shit. I mean, look, let's see here. Just dumb shit, honestly. We'll put, how did Jake Paul get famous? Why is he famous? We don't need videos. Let's just see here. Vine and YouTube Universe's Paul turned to music. He formed a group called Team 10. That didn't make it very far, but I think they just they just did dumb shit on the internet, stupid skits and just dumb shit. But they got an audience. I mean, no different than gaming and whatnot. And then he decided he wanted to be a boxer, so he went and boxed some people. But I mean, I'll give him credit. He is trying to be a boxer. He's trying to legitimately fight people. The problem is he's not fighting legitimate fighters. I mean, Tyron Woodley is the most legitimate fighter he's fought yet because he is a former UFC champion. He's not a boxer, but he's still a fighter. And Tyron looked in great shape. He's just not a boxer, and it showed. It showed tenfold that he's not a boxer. He hit him one time in 8 rounds that made any kind of impact. He took a few shots from Jake Paul. And at the end of the day, people can be mad, oh, I didn't knock him out, didn't knock him down. Look, man, if you're playing a game, you play by the rules, and if you win by the rules, you win. If it's points that matter.
The thing is, people have to be entertained by it. If they're not entertained by it, he'll lose his appeal, and he won't be able to continue to do these fights without, if you can't draw an audience. And if now,
who's getting an audience?
Well, I'm just saying, if people are disappointed by what he's doing, and they're not going to buy the fight again and again and again. If each time they buy it, he's not interested. He's not interesting to watch.
He'll talk mad shit. That's all it takes.
Well, maybe
that's what
sells
sells
tickets. Look, man. Well, I have been doing stand-up / open mics / entertainment for 15 years. What do I know? I don't know shit. I don't know anything about it. I know how to go into a room full of people, a live audience, and entertain a live audience. I don't know all this, internet and YouTube. Oh, God.
The dog is murdering.
Good Lord. Why are you calling me?
Just getting you some spam calls, man.
I mean, obviously, why you're calling me. These people call me all the time. I have a 21-year-old vehicle, and they are trying as hard as they can to sell me an extended fucking warranty on my 21-year-old Jeep that has a rebuilt engine in it, and it happens all the time.
Yeah, I don't know why that scam became so popular. Extended warranty scam.
Extended warranties.
Yeah, it's a scam.
Well, here's the thing that I would point out. That there was a time where everything that you bought was basically, there was a good chance it was going to break down.
That's true.
And so that's how they realized at that point, well, we can just sell them a warranty, because we know most people aren't going to use it. Not only that, but people lose their warranty. And have you ever tried to get a warranty enforced? Have you ever taken something back to a place where you bought it and were like, I bought this here 3 years ago. I bought the extended warranty. The extended warranty is for 5 years. I would like this product to be fixed or replaced. I've tried it. They won't do it.
No, I mean, no one wants to warranty something. That's counterproductive to their business model.
Exactly. So when you come in with a product, and I've taken cars back and had something, and I was like, hey man, I bought this car here. I got the warranty. It's under warranty. And they're like, well, that's not covered. I'm like, what do you mean that's not covered? Well, that part's not covered. It's it's a bumper to bumper warranty.
No, it's a bumper and bumper one.
I got into a big argument with the guy one time, and then the GM at the dealership called. What can we do to resolve this? I was like, you can fix my fucking car, like you're supposed to. That's what we can do. That's what we can do to resolve it, and they never did.
It's fair.
So, all right, man. I gotta.
What do you got?
All right, we'll do one last topic. Because I'd like to end this show on an upbeat, happy note. Oh, I'll tell you something. Not even necessarily. This fucking prick. Larry Elder. You know who that fucker is? You know who that motherfucker is?
He's going to be the second runner-up to the governor of California.
Whatever he's going to fucking be. Let me tell you what. This piece of shit. And this is personal to me because this is my main issue in the world. I fight for the motherfuckers who make minimum wage. Do you want to know what this motherfucker's slogan is? One of his slogans of his life? Minimum wage should be zero. That's what he believes. Minimum wage should be zero. Let me explain to you what that is. That is not a fucking wage. That is called slavery, Larry Elder. Minimum wage being zero, people working and making no money. Jesus Christ.
Dog is relentless.
That's not a wage. That is not a living wage. That is not. You can't. First of all, I agree with the fact that we should not have to have a minimum wage. The fact that we have a minimum wage, the reason that we have to have a minimum wage is because there are assholes out there that would pay people less than what they deserve if there was no way to enforce a minimum wage. How much of a dick do you have to be to hire somebody and look them in the face and go, well, I'm going to pay you the wage that is so low that if I paid you even a penny less than what I'm going to pay you, I would go to jail for breaking the law. That's how shitty of a wage you're going to earn. And yet the people that earn those wages are the people that do all the fucking important shit in the world. They keep the world clean. They keep the world fed. They grow the food. They transport the food. They stock the shelves. They fucking cook the food. They clean up your fucking house. They do your goddamn laundry. All the people that fucking do those kinds of, they pump your, or they don't pump gas, I guess, but they stand at the gas station. They risk their fucking lives because there's always some asshole wanting to rob the fucking place. And Larry fucking Elder, dickwad Larry Elder, who's running for fucking governor, wants the minimum wage to be 0. And that is not a fucking wage. That is nothing. That is slavery. That is no labor. That is not work. That is not America. That is not capitalism. That is not anything. That is slavery. Minimum wage is 0. I'm going to start you at 0. And then if you do a good enough job, we'll give you a bump up to maybe 50 cents an hour.
Let me ask you this, because I read this article and I understand the mindset to what he's saying. Like, I comprehend it. The problem is,
explain it to me then, so I can comprehend.
What he's saying is that the government shouldn't mandate what you as a business owner should pay someone for their time or their job. The problem with that is that like, two people should just be able to agree upon it. Like, I say, all right, Marshall, I need you to come frame out this porch. All right, well, I have to pay you $15 an hour. And you're like, okay, I would like to pay you less, but I cannot. The government says I must pay you $15 an hour. So you're like, all right, I'll take $15 an hour. What he's saying is, if you eliminate that and let the parties decide what they are going to pay or work for, that it would sort itself out. Problem with that is that there's always someone who will do it less, because we live in a society where everyone wants the bottom dollar, no matter what it is you're doing, right? We have one side, the people who want to make the money, want to charge you the most possible, and the people who they want to pay the least amount possible, right? And I get that every time after I post something for sale, like, hey, I want to sell this thing. The first message is it available? What's the least amount of money you will take? Well, I posted it for $20. I want $20. But will you take $5? So they go down. The consumer wants to pay less. The other person wants to make more. In Larry Elder's world, he would say, all right, there's no minimum wage. I cannot tell you what you need to pay, Marshall. What I can say is this. I'm going to tell you what, Marshall, I'm going to give you $15 an hour. And you go, no. And then John next to you goes, I'll do it for $20 an hour. Well, Marshall's not doing it for 15. If no one will do it for 15, you're going to pay 20. Because no one's going to do it for 15. The problem is that there's always going to be another person who will do it for less.
Wages are not going to go up as a result of that. Wages are going to go down. You eliminate people. You give people the opportunity.
They will go up.
You give people the opportunity to pay people less than $7.25 an hour. I can guarantee you there's going to be a whole shitload of $5 an hour fucking jobs out there.
There will be, but there will be no one doing them.
That's not true. There's people that are desperate for fucking work, and there are people that will fucking take the job at $5 an hour. Because they have no other way to make money.
In Larry Elder's brain, people will not take that job.
In Larry Elder's brain, the world is divided up. I had this asshole fucking college roommate, and this was his fucking mentality. This is what he said. This is what his dad was some big bank executive. And he was the prick of end all pricks. I don't even know how I ended up being fucking roommates with this motherfucker. I didn't really know him that well. He came to me the end of my freshman year. He knew I was going to live off campus. He's like, hey, man, I want to live off campus too. Can we be roommates next year? He knew one guy that I knew, and the dude was like, yeah, he's all right. So I ended up being roommates with this motherfucker. This is what his mentality was. This is what he used to say about people. Say, my dad, he would go, my dad is says there's two kinds of people in the world. Those that are meant to ride and those that are meant to be ridden. And those that are meant to be ridden should be ridden hard. And he thought that was so fucking funny about, oh, those people, they deserve to be ridden and they deserve to be ridden hard. Like he was some fucking badass fucking big business executive or whatever. And I'm sure he did move his way up the ranks. He was such a fucking prick. I could see him working his way through the goddamn, up the maze of some goddamn corporate ladder or whatever. But man, the reason there needs to be a minimum wage is because there's assholes out there that will take advantage of the fact that they've got money, they need work to do, and they can find people out there that'll do it for less. And the fact that you can find somebody out there to do it for less doesn't mean that you should.
I agree. I agree.
You know, the fact that you can find, there's people right now don't want to pay $7.25 an hour. There's very few businesses that can't afford to pay more. And I guarantee that if they raised the minimum wage, business owners would find a way to be able to hire people, or they'd go out of business. If you own a business and your business is not able to sustain what amounts to, by the way, a cost of living wage in America is $21 an hour. For what the average person in America needs to be able to survive, the cost of living wage is $21 an hour. Average across the country.
Nope. 1654.
Where is that?
It's
everywhere in America.
Here. It says that's the average. United States, 1654.
I've heard it was higher than that.
I mean, my take on it is going to be pre-COVID. I agree with you. Post-COVID or current situation is that businesses are going to suffer. I mean, mine included, because everything rapidly changed. So the inflation went way up. They want you to pay more. All of your expenses went through the roof and the intake is far less. The prices have to go up on all of your goods and services to just hang with inflation in any form. And there's so much less demand in a lot of sectors that they will just go out of business. Look, Steak and Shake is still not have dine-in customers. Steak and Shake has no dine-in customers. That's insane. How do they stay in business? All takeout. First of all, Steak and Shake is slow as fuck. Yeah, go to Steak and Shake. You can't go inside. There's no
anywhere.
Nope. I've seen. I mean, in Georgia, we're about the most open they get. Steak and Shake has been no dine-in since COVID shut down. You can order to go only. You can walk inside and pick up your to-go. You can walk inside and order your food, but you cannot sit down and eat. Their whole staff is gone. There's no wait staff. I went to a movie on Saturday at Movie Tavern. We went and saw Free Guy. New movie, one of the most popular movies out. There was 9 people in the theater, including the 4 of us and 5 other people. And at a 9 o'clock Saturday night movie theater. Movie Tavern used to have servers that would bring you food, the little button, you push it, your menu, you order. They come in, bring you food and drinks and stuff. There's no more servers there. The menu is, you order it and someone brings it to you, but it's not a server. All the prices through the roof. Through the freaking roof. The movie wasn't that expensive, $14 a ticket, which I thought was less. They've remodeled the entire inside of the theater. The chairs, everything's super nice. There's no one to sit in them. But if you wanted to get a soda, used to be like $2 or maybe $2.75 for a fountain drink at Movie Tavern with refills. $6. No refills. One drink, $6. Milkshake, $6. A water, if you want a water at Movie Tavern, a 20-ounce bottle of water is $4.75. There's no free water. There's no water fountain. It's fucking crazy. And you want to, and so how does that business say, all right, well, now we're going to pay this? The inflation is out the fucking roof and there's no patrons. So they will go under. I mean, there's companies out there that are going to suffer immensely because of the lasting effects of what's happening around the globe. I mean, it sucks. If you remove COVID, lockdown, crisis from the equation, what you want to achieve makes sense. but under current climate is unrealistic because the everything just goes up every week, every month. The inflation is so high, and businesses are going to tank and go under, and people are in debt, and people are behind on rent, mortgages, everything. The people making money is such a small percentage of the people out there, as we know.
No, I agree.
Those people can afford to pay people, but they're not hiring people.
At this point, and what I've waited all my life, I would love for there to be a fucking goddamn, let's step up. You know, you're only going to be able to go so far of keeping people from being able to, if people can't eat, if people don't have a place to live, you know, you're about to have 11 million evictions.
Yeah.
And
it's going to be ugly. It's going to be super ugly. Like, I don't know what they're going to do with them. I really don't. The people who made money are going to buy them up and try to rent them out for more profit to people that won't qualify to rent them or have the money to rent them. I don't know. We're in an epic shitstorm. We're in an epic financial shitstorm.
Wow.
Socially economic shitstorm.
Good. I hope it leads to a fucking revolution. I've always wanted to see it happen.
It's going to lead to something.
This fucking complete chaos. I have no problems with this structure being torn down the way it is and ending up with something else.
Yeah.
I want to see us come up with something else. I just would also like to say I'm going to go ahead and roll on because I got to meet somebody. But I'm going to come in next time with a little more fire, a little more. I was worn out today, just worn out. Worked so many days without a break. Even my last day off, 5 hours to my son's college, 4 hours there, 5 hours back. So 10 hours of driving, 14 hours round trip. Just a lot. And every night I'm closing and stuff. My schedule's about to change. I want to make this my focus. I hope that we're able to continue on based on everything that's going on in your life. But I'm going to come ready. This time I wasn't even 100% sure we were gonna be doing the show when I got here, just because there was so much going on in your life and mine. But let's we'll put this one to bed, and we're gonna come back, and we're gonna hit it hard and strong. And one thing that I'm gonna do, just say to myself, is I don't want to talk about Afghanistan. I don't want to talk about COVID. I want to talk about things in this world that we can make better and improve and work on. And we're going to try to drop those two topics for a while and just focus on some other stuff, because we're beating dead horses. We both know those are fucked up situations that have not been handled well by our government, but there's no point in continuing to discuss that. If you want to do that, you can go and watch Fox News. We're going to try to make this show entertaining. We're going to try to make this show fun. We're going to try to bring a little bit of enjoyment into people's lives. And I'd like for that to be our focus moving forward. So
I like it.
Some people are born free, some people die free, and some people just live free as fuck. God bless you all. God bless America. Thank you. Have a